Okay.
Nice.
We're there. We're there. So, yo, welcome to another episode of You Just Freestyled. I'm here today with Derek. This is going to be season 2 right here. We also got John back here in the cut.
In the cut.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Thank y'all for letting us use your space again. This has been super dope. Super dope. So, first off, are you from Arizona? Am I getting that right?
Nah, originally San Jose, California.
San Jose, Bro, tell me about that. How did you end up in Arizona?
Man, San Jose was cool. I mean, it's cool looking at all the startups, coming up and stuff like that, and it makes you want to be one of those people.
Yeah.
Just do something on your own.
Right.
But yeah, school brought me out here, man, to Arizona, and since then I just been here. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Facts. So you said startups. Are you also like super into entrepreneurship or business or startups?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, well, is that what got you into music, or was it like something else led you into music?
My cousin
Yeah.
got me into music. So I was in a band for 2 years, like right out of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin, he was always pushing. So, he used to record me too, like, he would fake, like, oh, I'm not recording, and then we'd just keep rolling.
My cousin did that to me, bro. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
Right. It's smart.
Yes.
So he would do that, he just kind of broke me out of my shell a little bit. And
Yep.
it was fun, man. We toured a lot of, like, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and it was a fun time.
Bro. Okay. Name of the band?
Ah, dang. Taking it back. Elements of Truth.
Elements of
Yeah,
Truth.
that's
Ooh.
fire.
Yeah.
EOT. That's
EOT,
actually
yeah.
fire. But no, though. So like, what is your ideal startup?
My ideal startup.
Yeah, or ideal. What is your ideal framework if you have more than one startup idea in mind, which is also possible?
Yeah. Music for sure.
Yeah.
But kind of incorporating that with like good eats too.
Yeah.
So kind of music restaurant type of feel. I know a lot of people are doing that now, and we just went to Harry's and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Just went to all these spots, and they're always blasting like the music so loud you can't hear yourself. And I'm like, maybe just a low key spot where it's like the music's like at a right level.
Yeah.
There's a dance floor if you want to do something, but you can hear yourself. You can have a conversation with somebody, maybe a lady, something.
Right.
So
Bro, fire. Musical influences.
man.
Yeah, that's where I want to. That's what I want to segue into. That's where I want to segue into.
Let's see. Carl Thomas for sure.
Carl Thomas.
John B.
John B.
Let's see. Who else? D'Angelo. No, just all the heavy hitters, man. Music Soul Child, just people like that. Just really, really inspire me.
Yeah. Were you more so like when you first started producing music, were you wanting to kind of like reach the same feelings you had felt listening to their music? Or were you looking to like do something that was inspired by that, but still like wherever your mind was at in those moments?
Exactly. So, I mean, just inspiration for me just came from like inside. So, when I first got my music equipment, I made whatever I felt, and it felt good. And, I could turn myself away. So I maybe started like 5 p.m.
Yeah.
End up 2 a.m. in the morning, and felt like time had just gone by like that, what I mean? So stuff, yeah.
Bro. Talking about production, when you say, because you recently produced this instrumental, and I don't know what the original name is, but this song ended up being Suit and Tie, which is the song that we worked on.
Yeah.
When you say produce whatever you want, like, how would you listen to different genres of music? I'm assuming, like, you listen to like a spectrum of music, because that you had played like a few other instrumentals that day, and I don't think any of the instrumentals sounded like each other. Like, so
Exactly.
It's like you have this ability of like producing and composing different styles of music too. Like, what was that like for you? Did you realize early that you just like music in general, or did you just kind of find that you like stuff?
I did. I mean, I noticed that just, especially in the gym. I mean, I lived in like a small apartment complex, and I'd play my music in the gym, and it's always funny because you see people that you probably never talked to, maybe like some like 20-year-old like white girl or Indian girl, and she'll turn her head and be like, "Damn, you listen to that?" And it's like, yeah, I do. Yeah. It's like, it's cool. I like it. It's just that type of feel. But my dad put me on a lot of different genres of music, so that's why I like to kind of branch out and just do different things.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's so important. Like the well, one is like an icebreaker because it does like allow for those like random conversations where someone's like, "Oh, you do listen to this stuff," and then
Yeah,
it also, not that it happens in every situation, but if there is like a moment where like you're being stereotyped and you don't even realize you are, like, "Oh, you look like this," so I assume that like you listen to things that are upbeat or jazzy or hip, and you're like, "Well, here's this," and they're like, "I don't understand." You're like, "You don't need to, just understand that I listen to it." No, those are really powerful moments because it reminds me that music doesn't have, to me, music doesn't have a genre and it doesn't have a color. Like it's like
exactly.
it could come from a culture, it could be influenced by a culture, it could be of a culture, but inherently like the music doesn't have, it's not identifying with anyone over, it's like this is music. Like you could understand it even if you don't speak the language, even if you don't come from the culture, there might be nuances that you're not getting, but like the music itself you can feel. And I feel like that's really like important too as a producer to be able to encapsulate that feeling and then to put it into something that someone can feel.
Exactly.
Um, so we talked about startups. Like when, and I kind of want to go back to that because I'm actually really interested in entrepreneurship myself. I didn't know that San Jose had a startup community. What is that
Absolutely.
community like there?
Yeah, so I mean, San Jose, so Silicon Valley. I don't know if you're familiar with that term,
Yeah, definitely.
but
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, it's huge.
Santa Clara, and San Jose are basically the hub. They're like the middle of Silicon Valley. So
That makes sense.
from me, drive 40 minutes up the road, Apple's right there. You know, you drive 20 minutes, eBay's right there. You know, it's just all of them are right within a distance. So, um, you know, I started like hustling in high school. Not drugs. I never did that, but you know, candy. You know, we'd always
Yeah.
do the little fundraisers. But I'm like, I kind of want to do a fundraiser for myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah. So I kind of want some money. Like, I was working for the school. I was making like 60 cents an hour. I'm like, this is not what it is. You know?
Yeah.
So let me go and you know, just hustle. And that's where it kind of started. Like, I got that ignition where I'm like, okay, I really would like to make my own money my own way.
Yeah.
You know, but that was then, and you know, and I'm just trying to just upgrade that and elevate it and see what else I can do besides, you know, selling candy. Stuff like
Yeah. No, I feel like those experiences are so important though because they do actually remind you that you can get into a place where you can like fundraise for yourself basically.
that. Yeah.
And then it allows for those moments to happen where you realize, oh, yo, I actually can't do this for myself. So no, I think those moments are so powerful. I actually did Mars fundraisers at my school too in
Yeah, yeah.
Peachtree City.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I sold so much one time they gave me like a $25 check and I was like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, but,
Like,
right,
like I
right.
sold like $400. Like, what are you doing?
You think about it, you're like, didn't I sell like tons of this? Like, how much of this candy did I sell? And I got $25 back? Like, and then it reminds you, it's like, maybe if I had my own ideas, I could do something like this for myself. So I totally feel that. Um, in that, are there any companies that you've been wanting to work with or that you see yourself doing stuff with, whether musically or startup wise, like entrepreneurially?
Entrepreneurially, no. I mean, I'd like to start something, you know, fresh.
Yeah.
This is my own, but
Respect.
yeah. Right now, I mean, I'm working with a pretty good company. I'm in Collins Aerospace. It's not really what I want to do, but it's just kind of helping me basically grow.
Yeah.
You know, into like a leadership role,
Yeah.
and hopefully, you know, find other people who are on the same wavelength. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, I think that's because if I'm not astrophysicist.
That's what it was me.
Yeah, so
Astrophysicist,
the fact that you're in the aerospace, you're in
Yeah.
astrophysics, like no, you're already doing it. You're already running into like-minded people. I think like that's one of the best ways to do it when you're like, you have an idea of something that you want to do, and maybe like the position that you're in is not 100% what you'd like to be doing, but you're running into, even if you don't know it yet, the other people who are also like there, like-minded individuals.
Absolutely.
So I think that works out really well.
It's a funny story too. I'm gonna tell this real quick.
Please.
So just about working with people, you know, and just running into people like that. So
Yeah.
this is back in California. I had a buddy that I worked with. He was a DJ, and you know, he brought me to one of the shows. You know, he has a whole clique, and it turns out, you know, the person like heading the clique is Doug Infinite. So I got to meet him, and you know, Doug Infinite. I didn't know anything about him either. I was like, who is he?
Yeah.
And you know, basically, you know, he was like No ID's like right hand man. So like,
Whoa. Wow.
if Kanye couldn't get to No ID, he would go to Doug Infinite for help with, you know, making beats.
Wild.
You know, so I was like, oh damn, this dude is for real. You know, so I got to, you know, see him in action. watch him DJ, and yeah, it was cool. It was cool. But yeah.
That's great.
Yo, so do you have aspirations of being a DJ? Like, is that also a part of like what you're seeing yourself? Or
It
like...
is a part, you know. I really do listen to a lot of music, and I see how it goes together, and you know, could be something that I could do in the future.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's super fair. The idea of like, so I guess too, talking about listening to different music, do you have an experience of like you listen to a genre of music you've never heard before and you kind of can feel where it might already be going? Not that it always when it like where a progression might be already or where like a drum hit might be, or like what the feeling of a song is. Do you feel like you always had that, or do you feel like you noticed, or even if you always had it, do you feel like you noticed it more after you started listening to different genres of music? That kind of like, and I don't know if everyone experiences it that same way, that kind of interconnectedness of music where it's like there are certain things that we all just kind of seem to do with music regardless of where we come from. Yeah, like what's your experience with that been like?
I do notice patterns. You know, I grew up in a very like Christian household, so secular CDs, the only ones I had access to were like Anita Baker, you know, like maybe the Isley Brothers, you know, and then after that it was just like Fred Hammond, Wild Gospel, you know. So just listening to that for the longest, and my dad finally got me John Legend's first CD, Get Lifted. In 04. And you know, that was the first CD that was mine, that was secular, and I'm like, okay, you know, I've been hoarded, like, you know, I've been on this Christian stuff for so long. Yo, it's good. It's good. I love Fred Hammond, you know, but you know, Get Lifted, I listen to it front to back every day. You know what I mean? I still got them in my head, so you know, just studying music.
Bro, fair. That was like Revolver for me, was the John Legend album that I like, bro. Like I was stuck on Revolver, which is a pun, I guess, really when you think about it. But like, yeah, really, really into it. But even what you said about studying music, I feel like I was listening to like Trippie Redd one day, and like my little sister actually put me on to Trippie like a while ago, because I didn't know who he was. Like this is like right before his debut album, I feel like, came out. But I would listen to like the way that he would sing, and I'd feel like, oh, this is like filling in a spot of like something I'd want to learn about singing. Then I'd go and listen to like because like the idea that I had was I wanted to get really good at rapping over, or even musically interacting with just different instruments. So I was like, well, there are certain artists who are really good at rapping over like these types of drums, or certain artists who are really good at rapping over like guitar. Like, I mean, especially like in Atlanta, like there's like a guitar instrumental, and like tons of people love guitar in Atlanta, like everywhere, but especially here too. So I was like, I want to have this experience of like studying artists and not necessarily imitating them, but learning from them. And I felt like it would help me like be able to then approach a track or approach an instrumental, or even the way I'd make music way differently, because I had someone else's experience of, oh, this is how I could do that, even if it's not how I'll always approach like my singing voice, or always approach some drums or something. So John Legend was actually somebody I did that a lot with. Like I looked at like a lot of his stuff, because man, he's just like Ordinary People, Green Light, like he just has like this range of like, and then his songwriting is phenomenal too, but like he has like this range that he's able to achieve. So that was always interesting to me too, like not getting stuck in like one facet or one genre of like making music or songwriting. And I felt like I've also been able to achieve that through just studying other people. Like if I'm like, oh, I don't know how I would do this, so like I could put on John Legend. He's like, oh, that's how John Legend would do it. Then from that, like I get an idea of how I would do that. So no, that's a crazy story. Like that's I was actually on this podcast like 2 nights ago now, and we were talking about the reticular activating system, and like still do your own research, but that's like the it's like, you know, when you see like a yellow car and then you see it like everywhere, it's like that's the same system that helps with that. So it's like part of the brain, but it's like in the same way you could find people or be next to people, and it's like you end up hanging out with them, and then you find out, oh, this person also knows Doug Infinite, and then you find out Doug Infinite is tied to No ID, and you find out No ID is tied to Kanye. It's almost like the same everyone is like, what is it?
6 degrees separation.
Right, literally that. But like with like on the larger scale where you're like, I don't even know how I'd meet that person. Then you meet someone, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, I know them. So I feel like that's also like a good indicator of your path, because I started like for me, I'd always be like, man, I feel like I'm not close enough to like music or the industry or anything, and then I'd realize like you end up realizing you know so many people who know so many people who are in the industry.
Exactly.
If you're like looking, right, literally, if you're looking to meet them or like wanting to know them, maybe that's like a different story of how that plays out. but it's like a reminder that you are in the thing that you'd like to be doing because you're literally surrounded by those individuals.
Truly.
What is it that I guess I want to know, like, what dreams like drive you like right now, like what keeps you up at night or like wakes you up in a really good mood to like start on?
I wouldn't say necessarily wake me up,
Yeah.
but it's just periodic. You know, like I'll get off of work and then I'll hear a melody in my head, and you know, I'm just like, I gotta record this. You know, I gotta get it down. I gotta write it. That kind of just drives me.
Yeah.
And then you know that verse that I spit for both of y'all earlier, like
Fire.
I heard that song in the car, and then you know the first two lines just came like that, you know, and then I just started building, and I was driving for like 20-30 minutes. So I'm like, damn, let me get this right. So you know, it's just that kind of thing. It's like, damn, it sounds nice. Like, let me get this right. Let me do it. You know, and just that just kind of inspires me.
Fair. Have you always like been able to access that feeling of like the inspiration where the lines or like the melodies just come to you and like then be able to act on it, or do you like you might hear it but you might sit with it for some time or like put it into like a voice recorder or something? Like, how does that process go for you?
It's sporadic, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's so sporadic. Like I don't get inspired every single day.
Yeah.
If I tried harder, like I'm gonna be real, like it's been a minute since I've actually made a beat. I gotta get back on it, but you know, just maybe on a Monday or a Wednesday, you know, I might hear something. I'll be like, dang, I feel inspired. Let me write something. Let me like track something down. You know, that's the feeling right there.
Yeah. I think it's more like as long as you're consistent with that feeling, then it doesn't matter like how like that's the consistency right there. Like it's not like I need to be inspired to write every day. It's just that like I'll have an idea, and even if I don't do anything with it in that moment, like I acknowledge the idea and then like I move towards it however I move towards it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Talking about music and the verse you just spit, tying into something else, do you often like go to sample something and then hear the track later and notice that someone has sampled that track the same way you were going to sample it? Because I've experienced that like in my own life where I'm like, I'll have an idea for something, or like I'll think about I'll even like I feel like I said this like in our like episode, but like I'll have a bar in my head and I'll like write it, but I won't put it out, and then I'll hear it like in an Eminem song or a Remy Ma. We did talk or Remy Ma song. It'll be like almost sometimes bar for bar the exact bar I said, or like maybe like just like a few different ways or like the words are switched around, but it's just like like how we were saying the ideas are just like out there. People are just like grabbing them. Do you like what's your experience of like just kind of having an idea and then noticing it in the world if you haven't or have already done it?
Yeah, so I mean, when I first started getting into beat making, you know, I'd have my homie John come over, you know, and you know, I was crate digging, you know, I went to Goodwill and checked out a whole bunch of like $1-2 records, and you know, just played them and was like, all right, let's see what's up, you know. So we came upon a record, I can't even remember the name of it, but you know, we both decided like that's fire. Like we gotta do something with it, you know. But a week later, you know, we hear the game and he's sampling it in the same exact way. So you know, it was kind of like a letdown, but at the same time, it's like, okay, we're on the right path. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I heard the Eminem song, and I have to go back and even figure out what bar that was, like, cause I still have the notebook. I feel like it was that same feeling, like, oh man, no. But then at the same time, I was like, wait. If the people that I'd like to be like, maybe I'm not necessarily like going to work with the game or Eminem, but if the people who are in the industry that I'd like to be in are also having the same ideas that I'm having, like, oh, that's and then like right, then I got super excited. I was like, that's incredible, because I'm like, it does mean I'm on the right path. Like, wouldn't that mean that I'm like actually in the mindset of someone who is doing this like professionally, like as an art form? Because otherwise we wouldn't, like, the whole like great minds think alike. Like, we wouldn't have had the same idea if we weren't the same like type of person in some way, shape, or form. So like, yeah, at first it like let down. I was like, oh no, like how will they ever find me now? But like after that, like fire. That man said, "Let me out. This is Sparta." Nico. So cute. He's not on screen, but he's adorable. Go back to the first episode. Check out that man Nico.
You kind of see it in sports too. I feel like I was watching a documentary of Jordan, and he was playing against Kobe in the All-Star game, and there's like, you know, everyone in the All-Star games going Hall of Fame, but Jordan was very keyed in on Kobe, and he was like, "Yo, there's something about this kid," and it's like Kobe and Jordan, their game is very similar. So I think Jordan was able to see, like, himself kind of in Kobe and be like, "Oh, it's like a link. Like, oh, okay, I can see that our great minds are a lot similar. We're gonna do the same move. We're gonna attack it the same way." Mm-hmm. So like when you had that experience with the song with Game or the bars with Eminem, it's like, yeah, we're connecting on the idea the same way that you are, even though we might not be in the same place as these people. It's like, yeah, it's incredible. It's really like, at first it's like, man, but at the same time it's like you said, it's like, wow, like we really are thinking on a similar wavelength, which is cool.
Right.
Absolutely.
But then it's like separated by time and space, so there's no like, at least like physically, there's no logical reason for why that should have happened. Like there's no, at least as far as I know right now, like how did I get there at the same time you did, or did like you get there around? Because I'd written that like maybe a month or two before I heard that song, and the song was released like a month or two after like I had written that. But he could have thought of that around the same time, before me, after. Like it's just like that. Stuff like that is so interesting, and I guess like segueing like collaboration. Like when you collaborate with someone, what is it that you're looking for out of the experience, or is it, if it feels organic, then that's all you need for the experience to like happen in and of itself?
Yeah, if it's organic and we're just on the same page, which is hard to do because I've tried to collab with a lot of different artists and it doesn't always work out, especially when just everybody's kind of pushing for the same thing, like the mainstream hip hop, whatever,
Yeah.
And I won't even get into that right now, but it just I'm a KRS-One follower, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I really believe like hip hop is what it's supposed to be, like peace, love, unity, having fun, do it in a safe way. Let's not drugs, not violence and stuff like that. If you do it, cool, there's a place for that, you know what I mean? But it's like, bro, you're pushing this stuff to kids, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
kind of wrong, but
no, I feel that it's like this like weird space because I teach kids like hip hop and grammar at this school called Condesi. It's like this system of charter schools. There's one in Midtown. There's one on the West End by Cascade, and there's like the skating rink where like a lot of like and then there's one, Gideon's is like I think equal distance from the both of them, about 20 minutes. And a lot of my kids, bro, like they'll be like rapping like, oh yeah, I'm gonna ride on them, I'm gonna hit them with the fire, I'm gonna hit them with the iron. And I'm like, bro, y'all have never ridden on any, like, bro, y'all don't even know what that feels like. And some of them have seen people like some of them have seen it, so it's also like, but that's not what you want to experience. Like that's not where you would like to still be at. And like I get it, like whatever y'all listen to outside of here, that's what y'all listen to. Like I can't stop y'all put me on to several artists. I appreciate you like keeping me current, keeping me relevant. But it's like this idea that it's like, well, the kids should know that it's a story, and it's like, but if you never tell them it's a story, how do you expect for them to know that like what they're listening to isn't somebody's real life? And I gave them an example one day, and I was just rapping like mainstream rap, and like, oh, that's hard, and I was like, yo, but that's a lie. Like I'm just making it up. And like it's like the art form simultaneously. It's like art forms that seem to include people that look like us. Sometimes it's like, oh, it can't be entertainment. Like it has to be. This person has to be the violence that they're portraying. They have to be the drug dealer they're portraying. It can't be like a movie, or it can't be like a fantasy universe. We just have to take them at face value.
Exactly.
But it's like, why? Because we'll make a movie like, and they were like, I was like, yo, Assassin's Creed, violent. Like, it's fine though. It's just
it's a movie. Yeah.
It's just a movie. It's just a game. Tom Clancy series, like it's just like you can fictionalize whatever you want, but when it seems to, at least seemingly, when it comes to certain races, like it's like, oh, it's, but now it's when they do it, it's like it's actually like exactly what they're saying, and they actually are these people, and what they're portraying to you is what they are. And it's like one of them like told me in class one day, they're like, the world just thinks that we're inwards, like the world just thinks that we're like, that's what we are. And I'm like, that's not what y'all are. And like the fact that you even are having these thoughts, like you're not even 12 yet, like you feel me? So it's like, no, I feel you. I really do believe in like hip hop being a culture for peace, unity, and love. I believe it is like a unifying like force and structure that happens to include music and dance and graffiti and knowledge and turntablism and all these other things that we associate with it. But I also feel like it's not. It's also more than that. And No, I definitely agree with that. I definitely
I
agree
mean,
with that.
it's all about truth too. I mean, think about Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie. When they were spitting about what they were really doing. You
Yeah.
know. And on top of that, though, Jay-Z could have idolized it, but he didn't. You know what I'm saying? They could have idolized that lifestyle, and some, I guess you could say they did a little bit, but it's not on the level that it is now. You know what I'm saying? We got people like Lil Tecca. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like straight up telling us, look, none of this stuff is real. Like, this is not, what I'm writing is not what I'm writing. What I'm living. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a little different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah. I just read a 21 Savage is doing this documentary, and he has Donald Glover playing him as one of the 21 Savages, and
Bro.
yeah, literally.
Okay.
And Donald's brother Steven is co-producing the movie with him. So like, we're just talking about 21, and I'm like, no, 21's actually gone through like a lot of the stuff he raps about. And then we find an article where he literally says himself,
Yeah.
although certain things, certain facets in my music are based off of real happenings, he doesn't specify which are and aren't. I'm not shooting people like I say I am. I'm not doing the drugs that I say, like Future. Like, I'm not really on pills and lean like that. Like, if I am at all. And it's like, and he said, I'm an entertainer. I write to entertain. And like, from that aspect, I totally understood him. But it's
Absolutely,
like, I didn't know that until I found that article. So in my mind, I have this image of this person in my mind is like, not is he a violent, irredeemable human, but he is a person who's not afraid to shoot you. He is a person who's not afraid to do these certain things. And then you find out from his own mouth, oh, I'm actually not like that. Like, a lot of these things are fictitious and for entertainment. And then it reminds you, like, yo, you really have to, like, you have to take things to stories. Like, if someone has gone through something, like, not from a place of judging them, like, accept that, and then be like, okay, that's your life. But then also, like, be like, just because you're saying that you're doing this doesn't mean that any of this is actually, like, it sounds hard on the beat. It sounds amazing.
Right.
But at the end of it, it's like, no, I don't really do any of that. And it's like, oh, I have to, like, really have an idea of, like, myself and then what it is I listen to. So, no, I feel you. Because I feel like it would be, that disclaimer would be so helpful, actually, I feel like, just for the younger generation, and even for, like, us, just even talking about 21 and me not knowing.
Absolutely.
Because it'd be like, you'd have, like, the ability to be like, yeah, you can listen to this, and also disclaimer, all of these things are not actually real. Like, in the same way that you would watch a movie where all these things were present, even if it had nothing to do with hip-hop, and then know that it was a movie at the end, same way with my music.
Exactly.
So, like, I feel that.
We definitely need that disclaimer, though, because, I mean, just people saying, okay, this is who I am as an artist, this is who I am as a real person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really doing this, so don't spite me when y'all die.
Right. No,
you know what I mean? For doing all this shit. Like,
literally. Because
art is such it's very interesting. I feel like art is very liquid. So it's like, it's free flowing, and it can get into things that it didn't necessarily was supposed to, but because it's free flowing, it does. As artists, we have our creative license to kind of say what we want to say or tell a story we want to tell. But at the same time, especially if we're really good at telling stories, it becomes lore to who we are. You know what I mean? If I tell a story about how I'm cheating on my wife, and people know I'm married, they'll be like, oh, well, then he's doing it in real life. But it's like, yo, this is just a story I've written. I like the song, and it's great. Yeah. And it's tough as artists because we get put into like a capsule. Like, hey, we can't stifle inspiration because, like you were saying, it's not consistent. Inspiration is very sporadic. So when I'm inspired to write something, what I write in that moment is the truth. Even though the story might be fictitious, it's the true feeling of how I feel. And so I can't. Sometimes I have to embellish because that's part of the irony. Sometimes that's part of the nuance of the song. You know what I mean? At the same time, I know that this can be heard by everyone. I'm talking about adult matters, but this can be heard by everyone because I know I was listening to adult music as a kid, and you know what I mean. And I'm listening to 50 Cent at like 6 or 7. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of crazy to hear 50 Cent, but at the same time, that also helped me understand different worlds that I wasn't a part of too. So it's really interesting how music kind of affects everyone.
Yeah. No, to your point, I think it was like I don't remember what song he was saying, but Shaggy, like Shaggy, he was saying that voice that he does. I was watching it on Instagram. He's in an interview. I have to remember, like, it was like someone cut a part of it out of the podcast, And he's like, that voice that I do is not my actual voice. It's not actually how I talk. Like, he's like, I was imitating a drill instructor that used to be on a base that I was at.
Wow.
So that voice came out of that. And he's like, then I did it on this song and it blows up. And now I'm like in this position where I have to do every song and sound like that. And he's like, that's not how I.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this idea of like being caught like in like, you can still break out of the box, but then also that, and we were having this conversation with Jazz, like the feeling if you're wanting to commercialize what your art is and like you have a brand, you don't want to possibly break away from the brand because then people are like, well, what is this other stuff? You don't sound like Shaggy, you sound like yourself, and that's weird. I don't know how I feel about that. But no, that's real. Like the idea of it becoming lore, like it's like your perception as an artist or the way people perceive you as an artist starts to take legs of its own, and then it starts to become a thing outside of like you as an actual person.
Truly, yeah.
And that's like so interesting. So like I think the disclaimer would be super helpful. Like this is who I actually am, and when you see me in public, please treat me this way. And if I'm here as an artist, please treat me this way. Like I think that would be super helpful. Super helpful. What projects, like in terms of music, are you like, because you were showing the song, like what are you focused on an album right now? Are you focused on like getting out tracks? Are you just focused on following some inspirations that have come up recently? Like where you at with that?
I'm following on, either I'm trying to figure out whether to take the beats that I've made and make something of them or just make new ones.
Yeah.
But it's always funny too, like I'll make the beats, but then I'll never like really record. We've recorded maybe 2, right? But I made maybe like 60, 70 beats, like maybe even 100. Like, so it's just like, I can never come up with the words at that given moment. I'm too busy focused on the music.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang, I don't, I'm just trying to figure out where I fit in right now,
Nah, that's fair. That's super fair. It was like, because y'all were talking about having stuff in the vault, like going back through stuff and then realizing like, yo, why haven't I put this fire out into the world? Why have I not been Prometheus yet? Like, I don't understand. But, no, that's fair. That's fair. Like, I'll find myself, like my buddy Chris will send me a lot of instrumentals, and he'll be like, please use these. And I'll be like, yeah, I'll use them. And, like, 2 years ago, but he's like, bro, you could have used these instrumentals? Like, he's like, not that I'm worried about it. I've been making other ones, but, like, I made these for you. I made it for you, brother. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like,
Shout out Chris.
Right, shout out, bro. Shout out, Chris. What's up, bro? What's up? That project you just put out is fire already. You know what I mean? But it's like this feeling of like, I know for me it was always like this idea like I don't want to just put out anything. Like I want to feel like whatever it is, even whether it's super technical, whether it's very from the heart, I want to feel like it's me when I listen to it, and I want to feel good when I listen to it. So I don't want to just put out anything, even if I could. But then it feels like, oh, all this time has passed, but then when it actually clicks, like whatever it is that's supposed to go there goes there, I'm like, oh, that was perfect. Like I'm not even mad that like I didn't put it out right away. Like I'm glad that like it came out in a way that when I go back and listen to it now, I'm still like, oh, I really like this. But that feeling sometimes can be like, at least for me, I'll say for me, can be like a lot, because it'd be like, oh yeah, I've had these beats for like 2 years, I should have put something out on them already, and then you're like, nah, but I don't want to yet, you know what I mean? Or like whatever it is, like I'm figuring out where it is I fit in. But then once you figure out where that is, it's like it's a wonderful place. Like, so I get that. I totally get the favorite anime, if you have one.
Man, it's probably not anime, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's the stuff. That is an anime. I don't care what anybody says,
it's close, bro. Man.
I don't care.
It's close, bro. I've watched every episode of Avatar.
That show is fire.
It's incredible.
So good.
Me and Jazz were talking about how that show did a great job at displaying different adult themes to kids. Loss, grief, corruption, all that stuff that would be seen as like something that adults could talk about. Kids could see it and understand it. And like, they were talking about genocide, you know what I mean? His whole people got killed, so it's like, man, that's a great show.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So yeah. But that's it. I don't really do too much anime. Dragon Ball Z is just a little too much waiting for me.
Oh yeah.
Get through a 30-minute episode, it's like powering up, like I'll fight you. Give me more time. It's like, nah.
Bro, that was the running gag. Like you power up for 30 minutes. And on the next episode,
Right, exactly.
will Goku ever fight
Yeah.
Vegeta? And then
100%.
the whole other episode, dude, like 15 minutes in, still powering up. You're like, yo, how much power do they have? Bro? Like, when do they run out? They don't, bro. Sensu beam, like every time. That was part of the running gag, bro. It was like the power up was just as much a part of the plot as the actual fight or anything that was actually world building. It was the power up.
It was part of it. People love that stuff too. My coworker was like, "Bro, I love that part." I'm like, "Okay, bro, you a real fan then, bro." I play the games though. The games fire.
Budokai. Crazy. I actually haven't gotten into any of the new ones yet.
There's a new one coming too.
Yeah?
There's a new Budokai coming.
Oh man.
For PS5, yeah. Or Xbox 2, yeah. So I'm about to cop a new system.
They look so good.
Sure.
But talking about like Avatar and then what you said earlier about albums, like they do allow you to like peek into these worlds that you don't necessarily understand, and then the more that you listen to from that person or the more that you experience of that show, it can give you like a framework where it's like you don't like, once again going back, there might be like nuances or things that like you might need more experience with somebody one-on-one, or you might need to like go to that place to really understand, but it gives you a better idea of a world that you might not have had any like conscious knowledge of. And I think that's always like really what's really cool about art in general, like the transmission of knowledge that you don't realize that you're really getting in the moment, or sometimes maybe you do, and then how you actually can apply that. Which, like, my question would be then, are there any art, like whether it be music, whether it be shows, that you feel like have given you a lot of life lessons or just inspiration to carry on in life?
Yeah, good question. I guess I mean, honestly, I'm not too sure. Too sure.
That's fair.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. Like for me, I know like Mac Miller's like I always cite Faces, like for whatever reason, like Faces, his mixtape like did a lot for me. Like I was able to get through like several periods of like depression and like other stuff, like listening to that mixtape. And I don't know what it was. It wasn't like everything that he said I was going through, but there were so many like feelings. And like once again going back to music and like putting feelings into it, there were so many things that didn't have words that I just was like, oh, this is what I'm feeling right now. And the fact that someone else had that idea and then they put it out and I was able to relate to it was like insane to me.
Yeah, you know what? I take that back because I mean I caught a couple artists like Bob Marley. As soon as I left college, the first time I didn't finish, and the first job I had, I was working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know, flipping patties, and you know that was like just a humbling experience, like just my lowest point. And you know, his music kind of just got me through that period of my life. And you know, Logic too. You know, just a lot of. I mean, he has a couple singles that I just really like to listen to sometimes. Just you know, get my mind right. But yeah,
bro. I went on a Logic, like, I was a Logic stan for a little bit. just a little bit. Like, I never, like, looked up where you lived or anything. You're good. just your music. But, like, no, bro, he really does have, like, this, like, and he still has it, this interesting vibe where, like, he builds, like, these worlds. For me, that's how I experience these worlds and these songs, and, like, you're in them, like, Nicki from like his first album was one for me.
Under Pressure.
Under Pressure as an album as something I listened to that album like on a loop. He does the cause that pattern is like I'm gone. That was the song like
I'm gone.
Yeah.
So long.
That like crazy the Driving Miss Daisy Daisy bro like crazy.
Buried Alive was fire too on that album. Buried Alive.
Buried Alive. We probably couldn't go through the album at this point, but like, bro, there were so many songs on there where it's like he also has this ability to like capture the feelings in the words. Like the words are fire, the wordplay is fire, the cadence is fire, but it's also like what I'm feeling listening to it is like fire. Like, that's like I feel like that's really important for me, like in music for whatever reason, because I really want to like connect to people on a level that doesn't necessarily have words, especially if they don't speak or are in the process of learning English or like they have no intent of learning English. Like I want to still be able to like connect. Is music the thing you find yourself connecting with people the easiest in, or is there also like other fields that you find like you connect really well with people or even with yourself in?
Yeah, I mean, I think music is the main one. I can connect just, I guess, through art as well.
Yeah.
I like to draw, so
Yeah.
I do that, but yeah, music mainly.
Where?
Mm.
What's the drawing like?
Hmm?
What got you into drawing?
Drawing, man. Honestly, I don't even know. I just picked up a pen, piece of paper, and just started drawing, and just started making designs. I mean, I've been working on the same probably one or two or three designs for like the past 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
And pretty almost there.
Yeah.
Almost there.
No, that's fire.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like the beauty of being like multifaceted, that you can just have like ongoing like projects. Like it's not like oh I finished all these at the same time. It's like I have stuff that I'm working on in different places, and like one tends to like normally inspire the other, like give you some kind of like feedback to go into the other ones. What were you wanting to do with the design? It's not that you need to like, or if there's like,
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, just probably one of them's kind of like a logo for like production.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I would like to just kind of just tell a different story. I mean, it's kind of. I wish I had the drawing I could show you, but
Yeah.
It's just.
Draw it right now. Okay.
I would, man. I would.
From memory.
Right now.
But it's just kind of like a symbol of like just blackness.
Yeah.
So Kemet, that's the name of it. It's original name of Egypt.
Yeah.
So just translates into English as Black Land. So what better name for a production company? You know what I'm saying? Like
Literally.
so just have that and just put out better messages, because I'm pretty sure, I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of slavery movies growing up, and it's like it's kind of played out. We've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
We know what our ancestors have been through. We're not trying to disrespect it, but we need a better future for the new generation. They want to see something else.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Yeah, bro, even like the I don't know if you ever got into like the animated Martin tapes, you know what I mean? Like the Martin movies, the Martin Luther King, where like there was one where
No, I never saw that.
bro, yeah,
Really?
so that's like
They
that's
should show that like in school.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yeah.
If you're ever interested, like you could probably find them for free on YouTube. But there's like one where it's like a young Martin series, and he goes back in time, or it's not him, but like the main character in it goes back in time,
Yeah.
and in the moment, like he grows up in a school where it's multicultural. He lives a multicultural life. He has friends of different diversities and ethnicities, and he goes back to Martin during the civil rights movement, like as it's happening. And like his friends aren't even able to remember him, and they're in the like his white friend is racist. His friend who is Latinx or Hispanic, it works at the school as like part of the cleaning staff. Like it's like very stereotypical roles, very like, but it's also like in that moment it wouldn't have been stereotyped for a lot of people. That would have been their actual reality.
Yeah.
But a lot of what I've seen growing up, like even what the Moses movies, like you know what I mean, like the animated Moses movies. It's always like this idea of like this is normally where we tend to see black people at, as like slaves in this movie, or you're thugs in this movie, or you're like the slightly good business exec, you're the comic relief in this movie. But like I think that's the reason why I did like Black Panther so much too, because it literally had like an entire race of black people who were just like, oh no, we're advanced.
Yeah.
And like, not that we still don't have things that we could grow or work on, but also we're at a point in our life where there are other things that we can grow and work on. Like we've literally figured out and done so many things, and I feel like that's where we are actually, but that actually having that is a completely different story. So I think that would be dope. I think that would be super dope, just to have that image so that people can be like,
What's up, bro?
maybe I don't want to be a scientist, or maybe I don't want to be like an artist, but also to see it, to have seen it, and know that that is a option for me, is as nice. And then when I do figure out what I want to be, maybe I'll tell someone else who does want to be those things, hey, by the way, this is what you could do. So no, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself like researching like what your ancestral roots a lot? If you like trace yourself back to Egypt, or if you have family in the islands, or like family in like.
I haven't gone back that far.
Yeah,
but, my dad, he's told me, because him and his brothers actually looked it up, just where their family came from, and it's like we're all mixed up. So I mean, it's like I could never be racist. So I mean, my dad's people, like the Colbert name comes from France. So
Right.
just white people came to Louisiana, fell in love with black people, black women,
Yeah.
and just started moving up and down, the coast of, the United States. So just knowing that part, and then my mom's, of course, is from Oklahoma, Bakersfield, Jackson, pretty
Right.
sure that's slavery. So, you know, just knowing where you come from, and it helps. It helps,
It does.
but try not to focus too much on it, and just of what I'm gonna do, what I can do to help my family name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that makes
sense.
perfect. No, it does. It makes perfect sense. Like even your question about being mixed, like my dad, like he got real big into ancestry, and he finds out on his side there's a knight in the UK, like and he's Caucasian, so it's like,
Yeah.
and then when you think about like even the Owens name comes from it's like a few families have that name, but where we originally got it from it wasn't a black name.
Yeah, it
basically.
wasn't.
So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just even like the idea of like the cultural transmission, like being like of different races and being mixed, like it's like, yeah, no, I don't bro, like I'm like, bro, you're just me, like I'm just you, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like literally, like it's like maybe we're individual, we're unique. That doesn't mean we think the same or feel the same or have the same agreements, but like if we're talking about cultures and races, if I go back far enough, I'm gonna find you and you're gonna find me. So it's like there's no point in me like being mad or hating you.
Exactly.
I would rather just like for myself have like the knowledge of where all of my family comes from, all of my names come from, all of my tendencies come from, and then using that I can build something for myself that isn't based in like, oh, this is what I am, but just this is where I've come from, this is what I've learned from. So no, I totally respect that. I definitely get the any social media that you wanted to put up, or like
At this time, nah. I'm kind of just taking a break from social media, so so I get that project right. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah, but you're gonna be one of the first people to know. So,
Bro,
I
please.
I will be shooting that to you. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. I'm always trying to listen to new music, and your music inspires, so I'm always trying to support, bro. Like, literally, if you have anything, you're like, yo, if you just want me to listen to it, I'm down. Like, send it to me. Already. Bro, this has been dope. Already.
So,
Appreciate you coming on this show.
yes, sir.
Yo.
Thanks for having me.
Already, bro. This has been You Just Freestyle with Derek. We'll see y'all soon. Peace. Already. Yo, that was fire.
Whoa. Okay. In my suit and tie, with a cutie pie. He's a lame boy, that's a small fry. In my suit and tie, feeling super high. Smoked a little green, can't open my eyes. Right. In my suit and tie, with the coolest guys. They look up to us, cause we're on the rise. Height. In my suit and tie, we mobbing deep, we wreaking havoc, that's on Prodigy. Preach. In my suit and tie, pocket full of cash, heart full of love, happiness is black. Facts. In my suit and tie, me and my kings. In real life, we live out our dreams. Preach. In my suit and tie, look at the sky. When you think about it, how we get this fly. 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 In my suit and tie, and I'm feeling great. I can follow you, destiny awaits. Fate. Fate. In my suit and tie, I know it's troubled times. Stay optimistic, we gon' be alright. Right? Right? Yeah. In my suit and tie, in my suit and tie. the buy. In my suit and tie, keep my numbers right on my spreadsheet. Let me know what the accountant said to me. Make my investments look good, portfolio. And if you can't port those, then let me know. Cause in my suit and tie, I'm with this cutie pie. Gotta cut a slice of mine, cause in this life they want me to live for mine, better not fucking die. Oh, in this life of mine, made in the suit and tie, here with my cutie pie, numbers always on her mind. Here I do reside, waiting and wishing time, here with my cutie pie, here in my suit and tie, all numbers on her mind, hope I'm not wasting time, here with my cutie pie, here with